So, the other part of the football argument here. So, college football, crazy week. I didn't get really too into each of the games. I just wanted to kind of get into that 10-minute threshold. For the NFL, I'll have a little more time to spread it out because there's only a few games really last week worth mentioning. So, it's week 6 in the NFL. San Francisco won on the road in Seattle. That was a Thursday night game. That's an eternity ago. The Bears beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville looks like an absolute mess. Or an absolute mess, if I'm speaking grammatically correct. The Buccaneers dropped 51 points on the Saints, but Baker Mayfield just continuously talking shit. He was chirping at the Texas players too, so he's just talking shit to everybody right now. Green Bay looked good. Green Bay looks good. They look competitive. They crushed Arizona. Marvin Harrison Jr. got a concussion like first or second play of the game or something. Baltimore beat Washington. That was a good competitive game. Indianapolis with Joe Flacco getting another win against the lowly Tennessee Titans. Houston looked good against New England, even though New England dropped 21 points. I'll get to the Patriots because there's a little point to get there. Philly beat Cleveland, but not convincingly, 20-16. That's a really bad Cleveland team. The Chargers beat Denver, although Denver better than people expected, perhaps. Pittsburgh crushed the Vegas Raiders, their ass. Falcons beat the Panthers. The Panthers are probably the worst team in football. And then the Lions absolutely raw dog Dallas. Like, what is that? What is that? 47-9? Like, that's the kind of scores that you see, like, week 1 of the college football season when, like, the FBS schools play the FCS schools. That's insane. Dallas dropped already. That's 2 eggs that they've dropped already this year, goose eggs. So, like, that's crazy. And then the Bengals, like, just looked so average against the Giants. And the Giants are not good either. So there's 7 really bad teams in the NFL right now. 7 really bad teams. And then obviously you have the Jets. They lost to Buffalo. I believe that puts Buffalo at 4-2. So here's the way I look at it. Jacksonville's bad. The Saints are below average bad. The Cardinals, I'm waiting to see what happens. Tennessee's bad. New England's bad. Cleveland's bad. Denver, I don't know what to believe with Denver. Vegas is bad. Carolina's bad. Dallas is just not to be trusted, and the Giants are bad. And then you have the Bengals, who are average. Philly, who's average. Indy, who's average. And then you obviously have Chicago and Washington with the rookie quarterbacks, which my next tidbits can actually be on the rookie quarterbacks. Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, Drake Maye. Now, Daniels and Williams collectively now have 5-6 weeks under their belt. Daniels looked good against Baltimore. Baltimore's probably the best defense that he's played so far. And for Caleb Williams against Jacksonville, in London, mind you. I thought Caleb Williams played really well. So when you pull up the numbers, right, because I don't really look at the stats during games. I just kind of like, he looked pretty good here, he looked pretty good there. And it's not that Trevor Lawrence had bad numbers, it's just Trevor Lawrence isn't really, like, impressing anybody. But you look at Caleb Williams, 4 touchdowns, 23 of 29, 226, took 3 sacks. But then you're also getting DeAndre Swift, almost 100 yards rushing. Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, 2 touchdowns each. Roma Dunze only got 2 catches. So the Jacksonville's bad, for sure. But they were able to also score 14 points in the 4th quarter. So they were able to put the game away. And that's something that he will need to do down the stretch. That's a guy. Now for Daniels, it's a little bit of a different situation for the Commanders because they're 4-2. They're first place in the NFC East. They played Baltimore really tough. But you look at this team, the numbers that Jayden Daniels is putting up at the quarterback position. Mariota's the backup quarterback, of course. He's played all 6 games, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he's thrown for 1,400 yards. Completed 75% of his passes. Like, Washington is doing something offensively with this group, Noah Brown, Ohio State, Terry McLaurin, Ohio State. I even think, then you have De'Ami Brown, who's from North Carolina. He's good too. Jeremy McNichols at running back with Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson. They have quality all over that offense. And the defense, I mean, considering they traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young last year at the deadline, those pieces, turns out it was really going to miss out. Now, the Commanders are going to not have Jonathan Allen the rest of the year, so that's going to factor into that defense. That's going to be tough because he's a veteran player. He's a top 10 draft pick when he came into the NFL. So that's going to hurt a little bit. However, going into next week, now that's okay for Washington because their offense is putting up numbers. When you lose and put up a lot of points, you're confused, aspiring. The Patriots, on the other hand, Drake Maye was the 3rd overall pick. He stepped in, and I thought he played as good as you could hope for any quarterback in his first start playing a team that made the playoffs the year before. He threw for 243, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, took 4 sacks. That's going to be a common theme for him. He broke out for a 15-yard run. Denario Douglas looked like he was the primary receiver for him in this one. Hunter Henry looked contributor. Keyshawn Booty got a touchdown. Drake Maye, I think, has all of the ability to be what you call like a deep ball passer. He's someone that, when I was looking at the draft, and all 3 of these guys are very different. I think Caleb Williams almost has like that old West Coast quarterback kind of deal, except he's accurate enough he can make all the throws. The only thing with Caleb Williams is that it's almost like you wanted to see him in big games, but then it was almost like he was doing good in those big games. But then like Lamar and Louisville, you're almost like, well, yeah, he can only take them so far. Jayden Daniels won a Heisman Trophy at LSU. Played for 2 really hardball coaches, in Brian Kelly and Herm Edwards. So his maturity level is ready for the NFL level. With Drake Maye, he's 21, went to North Carolina. I think for the Patriots, I think for Patriots fans, they got to be understanding that this kid's going to make a lot of the throws that are going to wow you. It's going to be growing pains. However, if they can build kind of a play action first, if they can make like a play action attack that's as deadly as anybody, this could be really something. However, it's going to be really hard for Jerod Mayo because everything going on with the Patriots just seems to be bad right now. Christian Barmore, there's 2 or 3 other players dealing with legal issues right now. So the Patriots are kind of in a tough spot, but I mean with Drake Maye, not too bad. And then you still have to, and then you have Bo Nix. Bo Nix hasn't been bad. The Broncos are 3-3. So 4 of the rookie quarterbacks are actually admirably playing well. I did not think Bo Nix was going to be good in the NFL. To me, I thought he was Oregon Tebow, but I might have to eat my words on that one. Overall, looking forward to Week 8. Now, this is recording on a Wednesday night, by the way, and publishing on a Wednesday night. So we're going to go through each of the picks, and then we're going to close this one out. So as far as the Broncos and the Saints, now, as I said about Bo Nix and his head coach, Sean Payton, going to New Orleans. Now, Sean Payton used to be the head coach of New Orleans, 2006 to, I forget the year, 21, whatever. 15, 16 years as the head coach of that team. Drew Brees, Reggie Bush, Deuce McAllister, Marquise Colston, the whole core of that group. Steve Gleason blocking the kick on the first day of the Superdome. Touching story. Love that shit. That's going to be awesome. We'll see how that reception is going to be for Sean Payton. Otherwise, I still think the Broncos are a better football team, top to bottom here, as stripped down as they've been this offseason. Patrick Surtain is almost impossible to throw on. And Bo Nix, there's something about Bo. I don't get it. The Broncos could always run the ball well. That bodes well. And I think the Saints, just 51 points last week. Bo Nix has got to be feeling himself there. Patriots, Jaguars. I'm going to pick the Patriots to win at Wembley Stadium in London. Jacksonville has the advantage of already being there. Yes, that's true. However, I think with Drake Maye coming into a second start, Jacksonville just looks like they don't give a shit. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at that game and I'm just like, that's a bad game. I'm going to go with the Pats, though. Just because I think Drake Maye is going to have a big performance. Probably another, like, 2 or 3 touchdown game. Seahawks and Falcons. I'm going to go with Atlanta. I'm going to trust Atlanta here. They're at home. And another way is that I think Seattle is just limited on how they can do. They got some injuries up front on both sides of the ball, and that's going to limit them. This next one is a 1 o'clock matchup. Texans and Packers. Now, the Houston Texans just beat the Patriots 41-21. The Packers wanted a blowout. So both these teams wanted blowouts last week. That's an interesting angle. The Packers are going to be in Lambeau. I'm going to go with the Texans on the road. So I think with C.J. Stroud, they're going to have the ability. I mean, it's going to happen with Nico Collins. If Nico Collins is healthy, I'm taking Houston. If not, I'm taking Green Bay. Yeah, that's the way I go with that. I think Nico is going to be a big matchup for them because moving Jair Alexander around is how they're going to be able to manipulate and get some yards on that defense. Dolphins, Colts. I'm going to take the Colts. It doesn't matter if Anthony Richardson starts or not, because if Joe Flacco comes in and wins it for them, they're going to be in good shape. For sure. The Lions, Vikings. I'm going to go with the Lions. Actually, no, I'm kidding. I'm going to go with the Vikings. They're on fire. They're at home. Titans, Bills. Eagles, Giants, Eagles, especially Saquon's first game back in New York. Bengals, Browns. I'm going to go with the Bengals. Bengals are getting really lucky with the schedule here. Commanders, Panthers, Commanders. Rams, Raiders, Rams. The Chiefs and the 49ers. That's a interesting matchup there for a 4 o'clock game. I'm going to go with Kansas City because they're getting all the calls in the league right now. They're the new Steelers. The Jets, Steelers, speaking of the Jets, I think with Devontae Adams, they're going to crush the Steelers. I think this is where we're going to start having that conversation with Mike Tomlin. So we'll see how that builds. And then the 2 Monday night games, Ravens, Bucks. The Bucks are at home. I think Tampa is going to give Baltimore a lot of problems. I'm going to pick the Ravens to lose, unfortunately, this week, because I think Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay Bucks are going to be a tough matchup to contain. I hope I'm wrong on it. I'll still root for the Ravens to win. Don't matter to me. However, there's instances where I think the Ravens are going to match up better. However, Baker Mayfield's hungry, so that's going to be something. Chargers, Cardinals. The Chargers just seem to be like a stupid franchise. Time and time again. I'm going to go with the Cardinals just out of principle because the Chargers are just a stupid franchise. Those are my NFL picks. I'll have a few NFL opinions to drop, but other than that, no, we're just going to keep it moving.